Welcome back to Lillehammer, Norway, and the opening weekend of racing on the EBERSPA Luge World Cup. I'm Tim Singer, and we're getting ready for the men's doubles competition. It's already been an exciting day with the United States and Germany capturing the first two races, women's doubles and women's singles. Here's a good look at this Hundertfossen track along the shores of Lake Mjøsa and the site of a very magical Olympics held 30 years ago in 1994. But the situation today, warming conditions while the ice still remains below freezing. Here's a look at this track record set by the Americans yesterday in the Nations Cup competition. Well, Tony Eggert with his former partner Sasha Bennekin hold the start record. As we take a closer look at this track, right now I'm pleased to introduce my guest athlete commentator, fresh off of her second place finish earlier today from Team Germany, Jessica Degenhardt. Willkommen, Jessica.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. Back again.
Great to have you. So tell us a little bit about this Lillehammer track, a track which I guess evens the playing field and a lot of countries can do well.
Yeah, so a lot of countries come here in the preseason. It has its difficulty from top to bottom. Yeah, I think you have to make the speed right from the start. It's the 6 is pretty hard sometimes, and then the 10 and the 13, so we will see.
Yeah, we'll see that in a second as the drone takes us to the lower start for doubles and women's singles, right above curve number 4, and now we'll go for a ride. And I know there are a couple of real key parts of this track you have to be perfect.
Yeah, so we're going into 5 right now. Sometimes it's hard to go early into 6. Yeah, then the 6 is pretty calming sometimes. Yeah, labyrinth, you have to go like not too early, not too late. It's every athlete has to do, like try it out what works best. The 10 could be tricky for the doubles. Yeah, and then make it early into 12. Have a nice line through 12 to get early into 13 and catch the right line out of 13. Yeah, and then.
And a little bit of an uphill, not a steep uphill.
Yeah, but you can lose so much time down there out of 16. So, yeah, we will see how they will do.
And then the long outrun, and whether the losers will be smiling or shaking their heads depends on everything that happened in the previous 45 seconds. Here's the start list, 19 starting today, a relatively small field. Look out for the Germans, as always. The Austrians, as always, where 3 Austrian teams could end up on the podium. And people have been talking about the United States, who have looked very fast during the training week. Number 20, the Romanians, Wendl and Arlt, have been a late scratch. They will not race today. And of course, right there at number 13, Wendl and Arlt, the greatest ever in the sport of doubles luge, and still going strong.
Yeah.
We get ready now for our opening team. One of 3, I believe, from Italy in today's event. No, it's two teams from Italy. Ivan Nagler and Fabian Malleier. Yep. And the athletes are warming up. It gives us an opportunity actually to say hi to our friend who was messaging in earlier, Ludwig Rieder.
Oh, he did?
He retired after many, many years, including 1 World Cup victory.
Yeah.
So in doubles, it just looked like, Jessica, that the curve 13 in and out was more challenging than it is in singles.
It is. You can go so differently into 13, and we also had problems there. We crashed in training out of 13 once last week, and it happens so fast. You even can go good into 13 and then catch the wrong line, and then it's just over.
So here we go with Nagler and Malleier, both from Südtirol. Both have been on the national team for about 10 years, but they really came out of nowhere in 2018. They weren't expected to make the Olympic team, and they did. And I don't have it in front of me, but I think they finished 7th or something at those Olympics. So here they are.
I just remember them from the juniors, where they had so incredibly fast start times.
Well, you know, I think, and maybe I have this written down, that each of them took part in those 2016 Youth Olympics here
Okay.
in Lillehammer
Oh,
as singles athletes, and both were in the top 6
Oh, okay.
as singles. And it's an interesting decision to switch from singles to doubles, and you did it, Jesse. And what led to that? Is it a case of what's more fun, or where you think you'll have more success or more support?
The transition to doubles, you mean?
You have 2 doubles from singles, right?
So I already started in 2019 before it was even on the Olympics, because they were going to the Youth Olympics, and one team, they crashed or they got hurt in St. Moritz. So Vanessa and I tried it out. We went to the Olympics together, and then it was COVID, so it didn't really work out, and then I started it again with Cheyenne, and then we didn't make problems out 13. So 13 is pretty hard.
Yes, it is. As this veteran Italian team crosses 47.527.
Yeah.
As we said earlier, in doubles, for some reason, that just happens very quickly.
Yeah, it does. Oh. Hope they will do that better in the second run. Oh yeah, they were too high, and then they have movement to the right, and then it's just over.
So such a disappointing way to start the new season.
Yeah.
You spend the entire summer wondering how it's going to be when the competition begins.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation to go into the first race because you don't know where you stand and what to expect. But we will see. I mean, now new German team.
The man on the left, the winningest driver ever in World Cup Luge, Tony Eggert, with 54 career World Cup victories, 45 of them in the 2-run traditional race, all of them with Sascha Beneken, and now his new partner, Florian Mueller.
Yeah, it's so exciting to see him. I grew up with Flo. I know him for so many years, so of course he took the opportunity to slide with Tony, and
Tony coached last year, coached the United States team, and he just couldn't deal with watching competitions and not being able to race.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He said, I'd rather be on a sled.
Yeah.
Big lead here in the early going.
Let's see how they will do 13. Okay.
Did you think something bad was going to happen there?
No, you just hope for every person, because you don't know how they will come out of 13.
Track record.
Oh, yeah, nice.
46.807.
Oh, even such a fast time.
And Tony is picking up where he left off 2 years ago. Not only did Tony and Sascha win all of those races, there were a lot of races, Jesse, when it looked like they were about to crash. And somehow they kept it together, and they were fast.
Yeah, Tony has such a big knowledge about sled building, and he just learned it over the years, and it pays off at the end, to be honest. Yeah, they were so calm out of 13, and that's what you have to do out of 13 to get to stay on the line.
Welcome back to the World Cup for Tony Eggert, along with Florian Mueller, and welcome to the World Cup for these young Americans who captured the Junior World Championship here in Lillehammer last year. Marcus Mueller and Wendl and Haugsjaa, both living now in Lake Placid. Mueller, 19 years old, Wendl just 20 years old, and they were the fastest on the ice yesterday during the training, during the Nations Cup race.
Yeah. Start time. We'll see. The Americans are super fast here. I mean, you saw it with the women's doubles. It was such a close race we had earlier this morning.
And then the women's singles.
And then the women's singles. Emily, she had a good run.
This will be fun to watch these split times, as you see, from 300s back to 400s back to 800s back.
Yeah. Oh, a bit high. Okay. Oh no! It happened so fast.
With so many expectations. Will they cross the finish line? It looks like they will.
So. I hope so. So that they will have a second run. Yeah, okay. Oh no. I think he's just waving something. Maybe he lost his face shield.
Could be, or
I'm
maybe
not sure.
just waving that he's okay.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a surprise.
he hasn't.
I mean, this is a young team, and that just proves when you're young,
Yeah.
things can happen because I'm not lying when I say they looked about as good as anyone this week
Yeah.
on the track.
So they were so high, and then out of 12, and then they had like, we're a bit too early onto 13, and then, yeah, the point where you can steer is too late, and then you have to, accept the line, and it's just hard. It's just hard for them.
They will get a second run. Likely they'll be the first to go in run number 2.
Yeah.
But what they may have done is given away their chance to be in the mixed relay doubles tomorrow.
Yeah. So unfortunate.
They're okay, and that's important.
Yeah.
Germany out in front of Italy, and here's the second of 2 from Italy. Also 2 former Youth Olympic singles competitors, Emanuel Rieder and Kainzwaldner.
Oh, he tried to get his hands.
He struggled to get him in.
Yeah, a bit.
1 podium or 2 podiums last year for this pair, one in Altenburg, one in Sigulda. And they were ranked 6th in the World Cup points.
Already 2 tenths behind. Oh, do you hear that? The sled is like whistling a bit.
What's going on?
The sled is whistling.
Okay, what does that mean?
I don't know, it's just when the air is like going through it. And then some sleds are just, some problems.
Big skid, but they do keep it together on the sled.
Yeah, way too early to 14.
122.5 kilometers an hour as they cross in second place ahead of their teammates Nagler and Malleier.
Yeah.
It's Germany's Eggert and Mueller still leading the way.
Yeah. They can improve a lot for the second run.
In terms of speed, where does this, if you say, I've heard Park City sometimes referred to as the fastest track, even though it's short. There's the slowest tracks. Which is Lillehammer in the middle?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have like curves like in Sigulda where you go around so much, so you don't feel that much pressure. But yeah, Cheyenne told me after the first run, because we were half a second faster than our fastest time in training, she was like, okay, I could feel it in 12 and 13.
You could feel it.
Yeah.
The first of 3 Austrians, all of them have won World Cup races in their career. This is Yannick Mueller and Armin Frauscher. Mueller, the top man, the brother of former world champion Jonas Mueller. They are from Bludenz, Austria, which is in the far western part of the country and the home of a brand new track, a short track. Now we're starting to see Tony's run in a different light.
He was good. But they, a bit late into 13, we will see. Oh, yeah, okay. Big skid into 14.
They're losing speed of 14.
Yeah, that costs so much time down there. Because after that, it's just uphill and you just lose and lose.
Despite all of the mistakes, it's a second place time at the moment, but a half second behind Germany. This is a little surprising, Jesse. We know that's the tough part of the track, but during the end of training, seated training, Nations Cup, we didn't see this much activity down here.
Yeah, but I don't know, maybe
the warmer day?
I mean, for me, it was like the ice was like the same yesterday that it is today. But yeah, sometimes it's just bad. Like Jay and I also had in our last training run, we had some problems down there. Yeah, it happens from time to time, and the track is faster, to be honest.
Definitely faster.
Yeah.
Jubaya and Hui from China. China brought a lot of athletes to Lillehammer. Not all of them are competing in the World Cup races, but it's cool to see a big contingent of Chinese lugers. These two had a 13th place finish in the last race in Sigulda last year, which is their career best.
Nice. We'll see how they will do.
Have you competed on that track in Yangjing?
No.
Are you excited to go there?
Yeah.
Are you nervous to go there?
I'm excited. I would say excited. I've never been to Pyeongchang and also not to Beijing. So we will see.
If you didn't know, the World Cup will conclude after the World Championships this year with 2 events in Asia.
Oh, they handled it pretty good. Oh no, I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, no. Later.
Yeah.
And they'll also cross the finish line, but this may even be slower than the Americans.
Oh,
they
I
may
don't
not
think
get
they will
there.
make
No,
it.
they won't get there.
Oh no.
Unfortunate, as they're disqualified.
Yeah.
Really unusual run, because it looked like they got out of 13 okay.
They were pretty light into 13, but they steered pretty good through 13 and made it out okay. And then I'm not sure what happened into 14. I didn't see it.
So this is the exit 13. Not great speed, which maybe allowed them to keep it together for a bit.
They had like movement to the right, and it just got more and more. And then from a certain point, you can't just, it just takes over.
So that's too bad.
No, I hope they're okay. I hope.
We will see in a second. On the bright side,
Yeah.
Jesse, I think we will see China tomorrow in the mixed relay events.
Yeah. It's exciting to have this new event.
Right.
Yeah, new race.
So with the doubles, which you're in, with the men's and the women's, and we will determine today who your teammates will be, but who goes first? The woman or the man?
The man.
From the men's start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in singles, the man will go from men's start to normal start. Oh.
I think we were just being told they're looking for they're looking for something on the track. They both have their shields.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to that relay. The men go first.
Yeah. So in the single team, the man goes first, normal start, and then he hits the touchpad in the finish, and then the gate opens for the women, and then she has to hit the touchpad at the finish as well.
Right, and then the doubles both the same start, so it's
for the
closer
doubles,
to the relay.
Yeah. I feel it's weird for the singles because, for example, Natalie and Alex will go together. So we will have Australia and Switzerland.
Right, and what Jessica's talking about is we have different nations. The Australian and the Swiss team could be very good.
Yeah.
And I've said this for years, even with the traditional team relay, why not allow other countries if you can have a team?
Yeah.
Maybe there are legal issues or liability, but there's a quick look at Tony Eggert and Florian Mueller. Not surprising when you know everything Tony's done over the years, including 2 Olympic medals, but he retires, he comes back with a new partner, and it's not that easy to get. It takes some time to get used to a new partner.
Yeah.
When you and Cheyenne, who I think both won junior world championships in singles, when you made the decision, how long was it before you said, yeah, we got this, we feel comfortable?
I mean, on the personal basis, like we were comfortable before. That's why we also wanted this. I mean, I asked her if she wanted to slide with me because I knew that we could work well together. It actually happened in Winterberg. We were eating some cake and I was like,
okay,
you want to try it? And she's like, okay, I will try, but I'm not saying yes. So we tried it out 2 days later and continued.
All eating cake.
All eating cake.
Slovakia, Viverchek and Jami, both 25 years old and on course right now. They finished last year on the World Cup. Pretty decent results.
Yeah.
14th place overall. 1/8 place finish in the sprint in Lake Placid.
Oh.
And anytime a Slovakian cracks the top 10, that's a very good result.
Yeah, it is. Bit late in 13. Yeah.
That's been the case at almost
It
every
is.
sled.
Yeah.
Might lose some speed there.
So they will cross. This may be fourth place, fifth place.
Yeah.
It's fifth at a 47.977. And Tony Eggert and Florian Mueller continue to lead by a half second over everyone. And that's simply, Jesse, because I think they're the only people that came out of 13 clean so far. The only team.
Yeah. So it will decide the race today. Clearly. Yeah. It's so crazy that you go into 13 and you don't know how you will get out of 13.
Right.
You have to steer and hope.
It's always been the big curve on this track, even as far back as the Olympics.
At least they got green light.
They got green light. It's not all bad news. 2 American sleds coming up in a row now. You may recall the opening race last year. The very first World Cup of the season was men's doubles, not women's doubles. And just like the American women earlier today, these American men turned a lot of faces when they won the World Cup opener.
Yeah, they were so good last year. It was their home track, but they had some good runs here as well, I think. They were fastest in yesterday's seated training. So
that victory in Lake Placid, to date, still their only podium on the World Cup. They did pair up to compete at the last Olympic Games, and they did have a couple of other top 6 finishes. Let's see what they can put together here. The lead of the Germans keeps increasing, 7/10 at the last split, now 9/10.
yeah.
And here it is.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Now that's perfect.
that looks good. Oh, a bit early into 13.
Yeah,
14.
we heard the skid.
Yeah.
This should be a second place time.
What are they doing?
It is a second place time, but they gave away a lot of time down at the bottom. They're actually, yes, second place ahead of the Austrians. Now we're starting to get a sense of what Tony did.
Back to race mode. So next up is gonna be the third American double.
That's right. We're hearing, ooh, it's
It was so high out of 15.
That's great athleticism and driving just to stay on the sled.
Yeah, it is.
Zach and Sean through with run number 1, and now their teammates Dana Kellogg and Frank Ike. Dana has been on the World Cup for 4 or 5 seasons now, first with a different partner, Duncan, but he teamed up with Frank last year.
Sled in track. Start time in 2:34.
They crashed in yesterday's seated training.
They did,
So-
right down near the bottom.
Yeah, we will see how they will recover. They will do today.
They had a lot of top 10 results last year on the World Cup, but no top 5s. So that might be a realistic goal to begin the new season.
Yeah, that's a good goal. Losing some time.
This could be third place if they keep it clean the rest of the way.
Okay. Got it. A bit late into 14.
Yeah, and they're looping in the finish curve.
Okay.
Third place,
Not too bad.
47.179.
Yeah.
It's funny, we're hearing more activity than seeing down at the bottom. Sometimes
Yeah.
the sled's quiet, and then all of a sudden it gets noisy.
Yeah, that's true. Ah. Oh, he tried to get his hand.
That start actually reminds me a little bit of the old Innsbruck start. By old Innsbruck, I mean every year until this year, where you have
Yeah.
that left-hand turn right off of the ramp.
Yeah, it is.
What's the new start? Do you know what the new start
The new
is?
start, it's a left curve as well. So they built the new start. It's out of 2 into 3. So we will have 2 more curves. The Austrians already tested it, and it works.
Russian or Austrian doubles so strong. Gottenschuff won 2 races last year, one in Winterberg, one in Altenburg. Did they also capture the world championship? They were the world champions in Altenburg
Yeah.
as well.
They have the world champion bib on.
Yeah.
Do they? I
maybe.
think so.
Right.
I'm watching.
Yeah.
A little late into 10.
Ooh, they are riding pretty high on these
Yeah.
corners.
Oh, and a bit early into 12.
All of these sleds are part of the seeded group.
Oh, they nearly crashed into 14.
They are just making it look exciting. No major damage, but a
Wow.
lot of minor damage.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, that's a second place time, 0.2 of a second still behind the Germans, and just 0.02 of a second ahead of the United States.
Such a big line in 10, so they come to 11 a bit late. Yeah. This looks good, but they go a bit too much to the left to 14, and then they nearly crashed into 14.
From Germany, we have
What were they saying?
Yeah, they were talking about the 14.
Right, of course. Second of the German teams now still ahead, the Tobys, but here's Hannes Orlamunda and Paula Gubitz. Both 25 years old, both out of the city of Suhl, which is about a 15-minute drive away from the Oberhof track. 3 paddles.
3 pedals. Some do 4, some do 3.
Let interact. Start time.
So what did they start?
Start time was a 3:09, 2.309, the 9th fastest start.
Yeah.
So that puts them in a hole automatically.
Yeah. Well, they also have the start number 11, so it brought us luck today this morning.
That did. And they also had their first ever victory on their home track last year in the sprint race in Oberhof. They're a 1/10 of a second back. Relatively speaking, that's pretty close.
Yeah. And yeah.
Nicely
Good.
done. All right, this is going to be tight. Second, third, or fourth, depending on what happens here in the final curves. It's third, 47.027. Really tight right now.
Yeah.
Of course, we have some great sleds still to come. The Latvians, the Germans, and another Austrian team, World Cup champs.
They shaved yesterday.
They shaved yesterday? So for aerodynamic advantage.
Yeah, of course.
But Tony didn't shave, and look where he is.
Next one up, we have from Latvia.
Latvia's had so many great doubles teams over the years, including the team of the Sīks brothers, who have since retired. But this team is one of the 2 in today's race, Ševiks Miklišević and Lukas Krasts. It's the longest name in the race.
Oh yeah, it is.
They had a 4th place finish in the first weekend in Sigulda last season.
28.
That was their season's best.
Start time is going on. And their finish time is 47.
Sigulda gets a race every year. What do you think about that track? Some fear it and some love it.
I mean, it's like Lillehammer. It comes with the runs. So when we firstly got there, it was like I was really scared of the track. But like, oh, a bit late into 13. Yeah. But now I feel good going to Sigulda.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Experience.
Yeah.
6th place behind the 2 American sleds.
Yeah.
So right now, top 5, Germany, Austria, Germany, USA, and USA. We've had 12 come down, 7 still to come, although only 3 remaining sleds from the seeded group. This is not literally the finish curve, but that's the big finish area where the spectators get their best look.
Yeah.
Green light.
Green. That's nice.
Next one up.
Best ever. Waiting at the top now. From Germany.
Toby.
They just make it look easy.
Yeah.
Toby Wendl, Toby Arlt, 6-time Olympic gold medalists.
Yeah.
3 times in doubles, 3 times in team relays, 53 World Cup wins, which is 1 behind the team of Eggert and Mueller. But they actually have more of the 2-run. If you count this, if you take the sprint away, the Tobys are the all-time winningest team.
Yeah. So Toby showed me he has a little sticker on his sled with a rocket. He got it from his son.
Well,
Which is really
That's
cute.
what they want,
Yeah.
right? This is Toby Arlt's son, right?
No, Wendl.
Wendl, okay. And Toby Wendl was saying they're just still having a lot of fun, and one of the challenges is for them as they get older to stay in good shape.
Yeah.
And they are in good shape,
They are.
physical shape.
Yeah. Let's see.
Keeping it close.
See? Good light. Yeah.
Okay, they had to do a little steering. He had to correct a bit. This will likely be second place. It's going to be close between second and third. No, losing time down there at the bottom.
5.
5th place. That's a bit surprising. They lost quite a bit of time down there at the bottom.
Yeah. They had some small problems. Had to steer a bit out of 11 to 12.
Look how relaxed they are.
Yeah.
That's what, when you've won all those Olympic medals, even if you have a somewhat disappointing run.
Yeah. They tried to start fast. Did they make the start record? No. Oh, no.
2.27. The start record is 2.268. So they were 11 hundredths off,
Yeah.
or 11
Oh, wait.
thousandths.
Yeah.
Yeah, hundredth off.
No, it was 2,000 off. Right?
2.268. Yeah, you're right. 2 thousandths of a second off the start record. Something to shoot for in run number 2. Okay, this is last 2 sleds now from the seeded group. Really, the last 2 we expect that could challenge the Germans. Batz and Plume, Olympic medalists in team relay in Beijing, and they have 6 World Cup victories, 4 of them in the traditional 2-run races. Congratulations to Martins and his marriage over the summer
Oh, they both got married.
to Alina. Oh, they both. That's right.
Yeah.
Roberts got married as
Yeah.
well. To a non-luger. Does that count?
I mean, he's still married, right?
Just kidding.
But I think her name is also Alina.
Okay. 1/10 of a second back. Now, this is the deficiency the Tobys had just a moment ago, and then they lost another 1/10 or so, and
Second.
the Latvians do manage to hang on. They did not lose that much in the final few
Yeah.
curves. Eggert and Mueller have the fastest speed, and today that also correlates to the fastest time. It doesn't always. Wow, Tony picking up where he left off.
Yeah, left no crumbs. Yeah, head back.
From Austria, we have Steu and Kindl.
Doesn't look too happy.
No, always business
Yeah.
for Martins. One more now in the seeded group, and then we'll have another 4 teams. But this is a very good squad who last year in their first year together captured the World Cup overall.
Yeah.
Thomas Steu, an Olympic bronze medalist in doubles, and Wolfie Kindl, an Olympic medalist in singles. And they were on the podium virtually every week last season in winning the World Cup overall over the Tobys.
Yeah.
Wolfie had very bad illness over the summer,
Yeah.
had mono.
They were starting sliding pretty late this year. But yeah, sometimes it just needs time, and then you come back stronger.
Wolfgang,
Oh, already.
Ninnis, and Felix. Really, they've probably been around the circuit
Oh,
longer
that
than
looked
anyone
good.
now. All right, this is 2/10 of a second back, so this is going to be a tight grouping between 3rd and 7th place. 7th right now, 47.060. So we're not going to flash up any standings yet because, as I said, we still have some qualifiers to go. But it's a pretty safe lead right now for Germany, and Latvia also looking good. But then look at places 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
They're so
That's
close.
going to be a fun race for a podium spot in run number 2.
Oh, it's exciting.
Welcome to our viewers watching on YouTube television. We welcome your comments, your questions, and your criticisms. We're getting a lot of Ukrainian flags from Yulia Tanitska, who earlier today raced in the women's competition. Ukraine coming up in a little bit, but here is the lone entrant from Canada, Devin Wardrobe and Cole Zajanski. Unfortunately, Canada will not have anyone in the relay tomorrow. We hope they'll have a full at Whistler in February for the World Championships.
I think they have a women's doubles in the juniors right now, and they're in La Plagne for training. They have Junior World Cup there. So I don't know if they will come from time to time to the World Cup. We will see.
No top 10s last year on the World Cup, a couple of 11th and 12th place finishes, including a 12th on their home track in Whistler. Now the two athletes from Calgary making their way out of curve 13, and they do it pretty nicely with a late correction.
Yeah. It looks like everyone has problem in the entrance of 14, or maybe it's just a camera angle. I don't know.
11th place, and again, don't be surprised. I mean, we are not surprised to see these 11, 12, 13 places because we've made it through the seeded group. And unfortunately for these two Canadians, they actually just missed out by one spot getting to go early in the race.
Yeah.
One place higher yesterday in Nations Cup, and they would have gone before the seeded athletes.
It's true.
3 more sleds to go. Next one is from Poland.
Continuing on with this World Cup opening race, next week will be in Innsbruck, then Oberhof, Germany, for the first of 2 races there prior to the Christmas break. And then they'll work it all up to Whistler for the World Championships and the final races in Asia. And here's the team from Poland, Chmielewski and Kowalewski. They've been on the World Cup for many seasons and have sat on the podium in a couple of races in relay over the years. Poland home track, Altenburg. Do they have a home track?
I don't know. I mean, they train a lot with the German team. I mean, all of them from Poland. Yeah, so we spend a lot of time with them on the track. They're pretty fun. Yeah, they're super fast sometimes.
Definitely.
Some runs they're super fast.
Again, it boils down to training, to equipment, but of course, having your own track helps a big deal. And many of these nations with no track, they don't get enough runs. They have to pay for the runs. Here we are at the finish for Poland. 10th place, 47.360, as they nudge ahead of the Canadians and ahead of the Austrians, Mueller and Frauscher.
They look happy.
The cowbells and the horns makes you realize you're in Norway. I don't know if you've ever watched on television a cross-country ski race in Norway or ski jumping. Those are their 2 big sports, and they have tens of thousands of spectators that watch those events, and it's loud.
You know, it's funny because in the World Cup for the ski jumping in Lillehammer, and we got them from there.
Oh, is that where they left them on the side of the hill?
No, we just got them and then
now
it's on the track.
Did you go watch?
Yeah, we were on Sunday.
Igor Hoy and Nazary Kashmar from Ukraine. Bottom man, 19 years old from Lviv. Youngest athlete in today's competition, I believe, other than maybe that first American team.
How old is he?
He's 19.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Last year they raced together, and their best result was 13th at the first race in Latvia.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Top 20 in all but one race.
the Ukrainians spend a lot of time in the preseason here, and also in Segulda. So they do have a lot of runs here, but also some problems. Already nearly second behind.
Yeah, that's going to put them back in 16th, 17th place. I would imagine 16th, 48.303.
Yeah.
They will go early in run number 2.
No, coach doesn't look happy. Or was there something at the top we didn't see? Because they lost.
Yeah, they were
time
0.2 of a second back.
Yeah.
Maybe he breathed wrong. Nothing there. It looked okay.
It looks okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And down at the bottom, of course, they were not carrying as much speed.
Too much movement to the right. You have to stay so calm out of 13.
Well, we were supposed to conclude run number 1 with 2 Romanian teams, but one scratched, Zitlan and Serban. So this is our final sled here in run number 1. Stefan Handvarek, Sebastian Molcha.
Start time at 2:33.
21st place in the World Cup overall last year. They just raced part-time, and their best finish was a 16th in Winterberg. I like the new graphic where we can see how far back they are at every split.
Yeah, that's right. But you can't see it in the finish. Like as soon as they get into finish, you can see it. Oh, late into 13. Yeah.
Well, you had to do a lot of correcting, cost them all sorts of time, but they're at least keeping the sled in the right direction for the most part.
Yeah.
48.445 puts them in 17th place, ahead of the 2 sleds that basically crashed.
Yeah.
So one crashing sled from the United States stays around for run number 2. They're in 18th. One did not finish. And then we have these Romanians in 17th. 18 will survive for run number 2. Well, we will look at these standings in a second. Tony is leading the way in his first race ever with the new doubles partner, Florian Mueller. Are you a little surprised?
Actually, no.
Not when it comes to Tony Eggert.
You can't be surprised with Tony.
It's a pretty healthy 0.12 of a second ahead of the Latvians. Germany, Latvia, Austria, Germany, USA.
Yeah.
And this has been sort of the story of the day so far in all 3 races, is those 3 nations have been owning the podium. And it's actually been a pretty disappointing day so far for Italy. A little surprising.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. 13 and 14.
So we'll see how things unfold. Run number 2 is going to take place in exactly a half hour. We'll rejoin action, so they'll reset this track really quickly. Jesse, what do you see? Do you see anything happening? It looks like the battle is for 3rd right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight race for 3rd place. Maybe someone can attack Eggert and also bots.
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
All told, there are about 7 teams with a chance to make it onto the podium. So stick around. Jessica Degenhardt and I will be back in just about a half hour for run 2, the final run of the day, as men's doubles continues from Lillehammer.